You're on.
Okay, it's January 11th, 2023. Calling the Selectmen's meeting to order. First order of business is salute the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's no public, so no public input.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a note that it's been requested of me if we can do something better about our recording sound quality. There are a lot of people that listen to our YouTube Selectmen's meetings and they have trouble with the audio. Maybe we could try putting the microphone on the table.
I've done that.
You did? And, yeah? Yep.
It doesn't seem to make any difference.
Do we need a new microphone?
No.
Okay.
On a similar note, I had a complaint from a budget committee member that our draft minutes weren't on the website. And she was wanting information, but we're not required to put draft minutes or any minutes on the website.
No, not until they're approved.
But, for example, cemetery trustees do put the draft minutes on.
Well,
Some do, some don't. It's all up to
That's
everybody.
their decision.
Right. But I informed that budget committee member that those draft minutes are available 5 working days after the meeting. Drop on down, and I'm sure that one of our delightful young ladies will take care of it for you.
Okay, the next item of business is the approval of minutes. First minutes are the regular meeting, December 19th, Monday.
I've read these minutes and the other. I just had one change, second page, action items. Third sentence, Chairman Albee said to put this on the agenda for January 9th, which happens to be today, which is the 11th.
Oh,
Thank you.
God. All right. Any other changes?
No other changes.
But at that time, it would have been the 9th.
That is right.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
I have a motion to approve is written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next minutes were December 29th, regular meeting, or work session, I'm sorry.
I have to abstain because I wasn't here.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, and the last is a non-public from the 9th of January.
I don't have those.
What?
I don't hear.
That,
Oh, the
we
19th of December, I'm
we
sorry.
already approved those.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, our first appointment is with our chief of police.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
So this
you.
is- Okay, this is just until the end of November.
I'm sorry, it's end of December. I should change it up
So
top,
this
but
is year, full
See.
year.
full year, yeah.
Okay.
I apologize, I missed that one there. Changed up above.
Okay. So I saw you stop somebody on Ledgehill Road yesterday, so I'm happy about that. More stops better.
Doing what I can.
Those guys just cruise through there. Tag a dump truck every now and then, because those guys are just crazy. I don't care if they're trying to make a living.
Is your job DOT now? Tag
No,
a
but I
dump
can
truck.
enforce some motor vehicle laws.
Should do
related to
speed
dump
for
trucks.
sure, right?
All I'm worried about is speed. The rest of it,
I don't like when they don't have mud flaps either, because that kicks up rocks, it breaks windshields.
Yep.
Yeah. The public seems to be appreciating the extra presence that you've been doing lately.
Yeah.
Good,
Very much so.
glad to hear that.
yeah, but, I mean, you have the unfortunate state that you have a black cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna mean that you're gonna get ownership more often, because it looks
I
like.
noticed that.
Gets white in a hurry.
When I was when I was in Alton, they had white cruisers, and when I first went, I said, well, that's gonna be hard to keep clean. Now, white shows up almost nothing,
Right.
black shows everything,
Yeah.
the dark colors show everything.
It's like glass, if it's all polished up, it lasts for about 10 seconds,
Yeah.
and the wind blows.
So,
So it's pretty consistent year to year.
Yeah,
not too far, stops are down,
Felonies are up.
yeah, but I mean, without looking at them, it's hard to judge exactly what,
Right.
I mean, some of them are,
Multi-charges.
well, they're like fraud cases, internet fraud cases, which we have to refer to somebody else, you
Yeah.
know. Pretty much about the same for the most part.
Okay.
The rest are down, but
Well, 13 in a year is, you have an aging population, your
yeah.
felons are less agile.
So that's, and I got an appointment for the Tahoe to get the warranty work done and the new the tires on it too, for winter tires, cause it comes due with summer tires, so
Okay.
that's getting finished up in the next couple of weeks. And
So we're good here?
I think so.
Okay. I've had numerous complaints brought to me, because we've been talking about the fact that we're gonna be redoing Union Wharf, the wharf
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
Let's review our signage down there
Okay.
for length of time that people can park their boats. And we need to post for no overnight parking of cars.
Any kind,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
because they're doing the work down there, so we can't even have, like,
Right,
in the past, we allowed, disabled parking.
right, but I think even the disabled need to find some place to go, because there was one car there all summer long.
Yeah.
You know, let's find a place to park if we live out on the island for the summer.
It might be, I don't have their contact, but the Islanders might be worth reaching out to the Islanders to say
Yeah,
that because of
we're
the
changing
construction,
parking.
changing the parking around there.
Right. We've got we have a couple of bids, and I'll be going over it with you guys, because I talked to Tyler earlier. So we'll get a schedule together of when we're gonna be doing that.
Yeah.
Because we have to let you know, obviously, but also the fire department, because they're gonna have to move their boat. We'll try to do it outside the season if we can, but it's gonna take a little bit of time to get it done.
Where are we gonna put the fireboat?
Fireman's gonna have to move.
Where?
I think he's made arrangements with Meldon, I'm not sure, but someplace, he's gonna move it somewhere. He seemed confident that he'd find a place for it. I'm sure there's dockage somewhere. The problem is getting the ambulance and the fire equipment to it, unless you have a good major. You could put it at Jack and stock and hope for the best. But I'm not certain when they're gonna start it. We're gonna talk about it tonight anyway. Was there anything else for the chief?
yeah, signage. I'm sure you're aware we have a deadly driveway down at number 127 between the school and the Gould property now on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
I talked to the patrolman about it. He said probably the best way we could get some was to have the police chief call the DOT.
You say a patrolman, you're talking an officer or?
No, I'm talking to the patrolman,
Patrol for the
State.
DOT, yeah.
because they do have a sign, you know, he said that might be the best, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
You know, that's a deadly one.
Oh, I was surprised it got approved for that kind
I
of
don't,
site.
Apparently it was old, it was approved a long time ago.
Yeah, there was a cut in the stone wall, it had been there forever, and one of those things.
don't
If
be,
you don't mind.
don't be amazed, because I sent a pretty snarky email to those folks down at DOT.
Yeah, I remember I gave you the address.
Right, because they, driving around, remember they dismissed out of hand the notion of a caution stop blinker?
Yep.
At the entrance to Sugar Hill, private property,
Yep.
flashing caution, flashing stop. entrance of Bald Peak,
Mm-hmm,
private property, same thing.
sure.
So I snarked out an email to him and said, let's review this decision, not to put something at the busiest intersection in Tuftonboro for all intents and purposes.
Well, as we speak of that, remember the fellow came in and kind of poo-pooed the idea of the stop sign with the lights that go around? That is in the state right away, but the one halfway down the hill isn't. And we could put something on that one if we wanted to. It's a pre-stop, but at least it's there. If you can't see that, then I don't know what you can do.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be expensive to do.
Well, we had a company that sent us information.
It's in one of those folders, yeah. So
Yeah,
what do you
well,
think about that?
Yeah, if it meets the manual of uniform traffic control devices, which I believe it does, because I've seen them up other states,
Yeah.
why can't, I mean, did they poo-poo it because they didn't wanna pay for it, or poo-poo it because if we paid for it,
No, they poo-pooed whatever we said.
yeah.
Because we said we put ripple strips down at our own expense, and they said they don't work, even though they've got them over at 153.
Right,
Yeah.
25, yeah,
And they had them on 171
Right,
before they put the roundabout in.
right.
yeah. So I don't know what the issue is, but you don't have to be nice to them because they're not nice to us. Let's see if we can't get something going.
Okay.
And
That's all I know about.
anything from you, Bob?
No.
Okay. Thanks for coming in, Chief.
Thank you.
We're early for our computer person, so let's, oh, we got Adam here, let's talk to him.
Well, were you here for public input?
Yep.
And
No,
which-
not right now, though.
Oh,
No, she's waiting.
okay.
I have two
She's
things
gonna
later.
wait. Okay, Adam,
Yes, sir.
on your truck, we got your
Changes,
average low cost high
the
cost.
changes?
Right, these,
Yes.
and, collective wisdom, independent of public meeting, but actually happening at a public meeting, is it seems as though $125,000 is what you're looking for.
Well, as far as to outfit it for the needs, as far as that goes,
Right,
it would be 103,242. To outfit it completely, as far as with the different stuff, we were looking at 123,881.
so the $20,640 worth of additional equipment, how do you wanna handle that?
That was one of those, that's one of the things that we're putting it out there. If we can get that additional equipment as far as to put in it, then terrific. If not, then we would be looking at 103,242.
Is there and I'm not gonna monopolize this conversation, but is there a timing issue? I know the police chief runs into timeframes that are extensive for equipping the vehicle.
The only thing that we're running into right now is getting the bids back. We're just starting to get some stuff back now. Like last night, all the information for Sugarloaf, which is a outfitting agency, that information came last night. So that's why you have a updated sheet that should say 103,240.
Right. I have that.
So this additional desired equipment for $20,640, do you have a list of what that equipment is?
It's
Yeah,
right there on the back.
On the back page, the whole back page.
Oh,
this
that's the
back
whole
page.
thing, all right.
So we separated it out. We separated the vehicle and then the equipment as far as what would be considered extras to the vehicle. So for like the example, the iPad case mounting from Verizon is $2,000. We originally had that in the pricing. We put it in the extra. And what that is that when we go out to a medical scene or something along that lines, we're punching the information in with that computer, and there's no paperwork in that. So we're moving forward as far as into the 21st century, I guess you could say, and having computers with the different stuff.
So you don't have a plow at the,
We do not.
okay. why do you think you can't live with that one?
But we're just looking at, you know, we use personal plows now as far as,
Oh, I
you
thought the
know,
road agent plowed, yeah,
he does.
okay.
But in between, we, as far as if it gets fairly deep around the doors, we push whatever around. When we go into different calls, we may push in so the ambulance can get into the driveways.
You can't be held hostage by the road agent being out somewhere doing their thing.
The other, and they do a good job, but some of the dry hydrants fall on private property, basically, and I go around and plow them out now with my own truck. So basically, having them do the private property things is we try not to have that as far as it goes.
Alright,
You shouldn't be using your personal vehicles for that stuff. You shouldn't be using your
You got
personal
a
vehicles.
lot of snow in your dry hydrant.
I know, it's snowy up there, I know.
So that's what
Okay.
we're looking at with that.
So, brother Selectmen, where do you wanna land on this? I mean, I guess there's,
Well, in my opinion, is he says he can do without it, it's additional desired equipment, but really, he can justify the need for it. And I think that the fire department should have what they need to get the job done. I would even go so far as making a motion to cover that 123,881. Make a motion to support $125,000.
alright,
Second?
for discussion?
Mhm.
Is there any more discussion?
Adam explains everything really well and does a good job giving us the paperwork. And I don't know how you can,
Basically that's an example of what it would look like.
Nice.
And again, we did look at the Yukons and things like that.
And is there value in the trade-in,
Obviously it'll go out the bid,
or how do we do the police?
You just sold it, put it on Craigslist and sold it.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you'll
Make it-
definitely get something.
You'll make out better doing it that way than trading it in.
Thank you.
you know how many miles are on that Suburban? Just
A Suburban is like 100 and I have to go look at it. I can come back in.
No, just curious.
Yeah.
So when we get ready, we'll get you with Bob.
Yes.
We should have been on the cruiser and it didn't.
Yeah,
That ends up going into cash, it
Right.
doesn't come
Right.
off the price, so
Right.
yeah,
they're not taking it in trade, I
Nope.
imagine.
no.
Right.
And it does have over 100,000 miles
Oh, no
as
doubt.
far as it goes.
All right,
And
we've
just,
got,
just for the record, for the people that are listening, 107,758 is the absolute minimum. The 123,881 is the mid-range price with the equipment that he wants, and 131,680 is the high end,
which you doesn't get.
which
Right, we don't.
which we're not getting. So I think settling at 125 in the middle, we get the job done.
All right, we got a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we'll present that to the budget committee on next Tuesday.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your
Yeah.
time with that.
Any other problems, issues?
Do you have any?
We always have. Nobody resolves them for us.
Well,
Okay,
let us know if we
great.
can resolve some.
All right,
Thank you.
next
you.
on the agenda is Tom Sawyer. Fresh from a giraffe trip down to Mississippi.
How are you gentlemen this evening?
Are we, before we begin, are we gonna be talking about any kind of rates? Okay, then I think we can skip the non-public.
What do you want?
Cause the only, I had set aside some time for non-public.
Okay.
If we're actually gonna talk contractual rates, I'd like to have them in public session. 'Cause
Okay.
it just,
Yeah, do you have, the numbers aren't gonna change. The only, there's just the only decision, the only financial decision was, and I'm kinda, you only 4 hours to make it, but
Mhm.
it was just a question on the email, because it was gonna renew at midnight. And you currently had it in annual, and I think we wanted to move it to monthly. I just have to do that today.
And
So
what's
that-
the
but
financial?
The price
implications?
doesn't change either way, it's just a matter of whether or not you come up with $1,100 tomorrow, or you spread it out over a year.
So when you say your price doesn't change, the contract that we're working under right now,
That's correct. You have all the new numbers.
we're carrying that,
Forward.
carrying that number forward?
Right, the only
without
thing we
change?
changed was the black point, that's it.
Right, we took care of that November.
Right, and so the numbers that we just put out, I have it in front of me. So what the bill that Jackie just got,
Right, we have it too.
so that's the number.
So we're budgeting for the email at an annual rate. If the number doesn't change, we can pay it monthly. It just,
Absolutely, that was the only thing
Yeah.
that, I just need to do that today, so I can go in after I leave, I
you know, are
can,
there any issues from staff? I don't know why there would be.
yeah.
Staff is.
The staff is
Talk to
on
Jen.
board with
Yeah.
Lakes Region Computer.
It's 30 years that we've had a computer in this building. It's the best support that
Has
we've
it
ever
been
had.
30 years?
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't
1990.
had a computer that long.
If the,
Third-
if the money's not changing,
No.
and the terms aren't changing,
No.
and everybody's happy with your services, I would support moving.
Yeah, let's make it a little clearer. Let's do the email first.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah, I
gonna,
just wanna make a note, cause I'll do it literally when I get
yeah,
home.
I'm gonna make a motion that we allow them the Lakes Region to change the email billing from annual to monthly.
I'll second that.
Yeah, and just, so what I'm gonna try and do is currently, you have a couple of different end dates, cause Microsoft changed the way that they do things. It used to be when we did monthly, you could just cancel things whenever you wanted to, but now, and they still have that option, but it makes the price go up. If you do it monthly with an annual contract, which, you know, you're not gonna get rid of your email, so it's not really a big deal. If you do it monthly with an annual contract, they keep the same price, but they don't let you delete it. So what I'm gonna try and do is see if I can align it with some of the other contracts, because you have 2 other Office products that expire at different points during the year. So I'm gonna try real hard to get everything to start to line up, because they changed this policy in March of last year. So that's why everything got kind of out of sorts.
Okay, I gotta
That's
amend
my goal.
I gotta amend my motion. I'm gonna make a motion to allow Lakes Region to change the timing of the contract on our email if it is cost neutral.
It is cost neutral.
Then I'll second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that's done. I'd like, back to your initial point, Bob, I'd like to make the relationship with Lakes Region a little more certain, because I didn't see any language in our agreement that had terms. Like, okay, we're gonna make an agreement for the next 2 years, or we're gonna make an agreement for the next year. And it was originally, I think, when, that was a long time ago, when it came in, it was a year ago or so. It was, this is our price and this is how we work, and we were happy with it. Our staff's very happy with your company. But I think we need to, at some point, put this back out on the street, but I don't wanna put it out on the street this year. And I don't think we wanna put it out next year, but
Well, if you was coming in with new numbers, higher numbers, and new terms, I would say absolutely, it has to be put out.
right, but he didn't,
But he didn't.
right,
So we could consider this an extension of the existing contract.
which didn't have a term, that's where I'm coming from.
Right.
It did, it was February. I couldn't put my finger on the signed contract, Kathy had it.
Okay,
I don't know if she ever.
It's 12 months.
maybe, that's right, maybe it was February
It
first.
was like
Yeah.
February 1st.
Right.
So
Exactly.
the statement of work that I put together, I just put it through from January to the end of the year. I can do that to January to the end of 2024. I can do that to the end of 2025. I can kind of do whatever you want to, and then just email you the documents back tomorrow.
If we do multi-year, do we have an out? Do we have like a 30-day out?
Yeah.
We decide we don't like
What's our-
anymore?
Absolutely.
What's our expectation
We
for
have
changes?
no, actually, when I was talking to New Durham, you know, they were like, can we make it at 90 because it was both ways, right? Like you were non-compliant and we could still have the 30-day out, and so New Durham wanted 90. I think we kept it at 30. I think we actually might have written a clause for them, but we don't want to work with someone who's not happy with us, and vice versa. So
Right.
we don't. We want to be your partner. We don't. Want to just be an employee that people don't like, or that you're not happy with our billing, or.
So aside from outside vendors charging more, which Microsoft just did.
Yeah.
It
hasn't gone up yet because I had switched you all over in the time frames that they let us.
But is it your expectation that if we were to say a 2-year contract extension, that there'd be any other increases from your company standpoint?
Not from my company. I mean, it's technology, right? It changes all the time. But your security posture is in a really, really good shape. Like when we put the black point on there, and I don't know if you guys got my note, but on Monday, the black point sent me an email and they said, hey, we're including your Office 365 products for free. I've already configured that. Now I'm going to get alerts if anything's trying to go wrong on your Office products, because that was an extra feature that we had to buy. So it's included now.
Yeah, I'm absolutely satisfied with all of that. My question, I guess, is we're paying you something.
Yes.
To be you.
Right.
Is it your expectation that that fee is going to remain stable for 2 years?
We could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
So I'm going to make a motion that we enter into a 2-year extension on the contract with Lake Surgeon Computer.
At current rates.
Right, at current rates. With the exception of outside vendor increases, like Microsoft, et cetera.
Yeah.
And let's not make sure that we have a 30-day out, so something happens.
I think we do on there.
We're locked in.
It is. So just, sorry, if, let's say, I just want to be clear, like, so let's say something changes and you buy 3 more systems,
Yeah.
the price will go up.
Sure.
Right, because it's more infrastructure.
But it's per unit.
But the base price is not.
Right.
Okay.
And your hourly rate's not gonna change.
No, and,
If we
it's all
change
inclusive.
something-
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to make sure we were.
Right.
I'm going to ask for a vote on this. I've made that motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, just as a little further aside on rates, et cetera, we have a contract with Waste Management to take care of our trash. And because of the economic conditions of fuel, et cetera, they asked us for a 5% increase for 1 year to cover that extraneous expense. So we're not averse to examining, we'd rather not run into a situation where you say you can't do it because you've run out of.
As I'm out of water, yeah.
Yeah, because you're out of water.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
Well, at least this board.
Yeah, and I'm super appreciative of that.
Well, we
you
can,
even
yeah,
care.
because, and I think 2's the max, because you've been on a year and we're a year out, so we can't obligate a future board, but one of the 3 of us will still be here 2 years from now,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, obviously, I say obviously, but from past experience, if you see something coming up, you're gonna let us know far in advance as you can.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then we can work
let's-
with it.
I guess we're going January 1 to January 1 to January 1.
Yeah, you said that makes sense because
Yeah, it
of
does.
the budget, yeah.
So let's just put a tickler file together that you need to let us know 60 days before the end of the 2nd year, that we're coming up to the end,
Okay,
what your expectations are gonna be going forward,
okay.
which we have to keep private if we're gonna put it on the street.
Right.
So it may be that we don't have to do that, but
Okay.
if things change and all of a sudden you feel that you just can't stand it without a $10,000 a year increase, then we're gonna, at that point, probably have to put it out there, and
Sure.
anybody else that comes forward is gonna have to do it on their own information, not on information that you've given us about what you need. So that's why I would have done a non-public if we were gonna start talking about pricing.
Okay.
All right, so we have a 2-year
Okay,
agreement.
yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just change this date on here to the,
Yep.
to the 2024. And, I will get the email sorted by the end of,
Yeah, and send off a,
so that will just adjust, like you won't get the 1,200, you'll get the, whatever the rate, the increase is, it's split.
but send the contract off in hard copy to us and we'll get it signed, and that way we all have a copy, or I'll
Okay.
have a copy here and you'll have a copy.
Okay, great, I will mail it to you.
Perfect. Did you wanna say anything about this? Is that why you came in?
Well, no, I'm all set, as long as you're
Okay.
gonna renew that contract.
Well, I wanna
Alright,
make sure,
Angel over here.
I wanna make sure that everybody out on YouTube knows that I don't
And that's
care,
what,
I don't care what you want.
I know, and that's what Jen just said to me, she said she had to leave, but she wanted to make sure that,
And
Yeah, no,
Lisa,
everybody-
and Kathy, and
Yeah,
me.
yeah, no, everybody's happy
So-
with you.
No, I get the message.
Oh,
If
yeah.
he, I gotta tell you though, if he was gonna be changing the price and changing the terms, I'd be looking at this in a completely different angle.
We'd have to.
We'd be putting this out,
Exactly.
Yeah, we'd have to.
but
But-
we didn't.
And,
So-
and once again, that's why I mentioned the 60 days. We need some notice on that, cause if we were to put it out today,
It's gonna take time.
it would
Sure.
take time and you'd be sitting there on a contract that you might have, not have. That's a good arrangement to have
Yeah.
with anybody.
No, no.
Okay, good, good.
Well, this is all great, I'll take care of this.
And you'll let us know, does he advise us about replacements? He does,
Yes,
doesn't
yeah, we give the inventory, I think it's already here, so I think we've already given it to you.
he? Okay.
But we can certainly have a meeting anytime you guys want me to
Okay.
come in.
No, I just wanna I mean, we're in the middle of budget season, I just wanna make sure we're good for 23,
Okay.
cause that's gonna come to an end here.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, but I have it written in front of me somewhere. Pretty bright colors. A lot of reports. Sorry.
See, I've got,
There we go, this one, okay. Yeah, so there was a bit,
okay,
I think we discussed it, but, there was a server.
and this is
Here.
for 23,
This is, yeah,
okay,
so there was a server and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 computers on a recommended list. Now, recommended and what you can do is not necessarily always the same.
so what's the cost?
14 if you did everything,
I'm sorry?
14 if you did everything.
Okay. All right, and we've got
Have we budgeted for that?
30,000 and 28,500, and that's just in one budget. I'm sure there's some more in there too. But,
Actually, that was the, my bad, that was the admin office, there's 3 more.
okay,
At the fire department. That's it. So there was 17. If we did everything.
fire department is,
You're not using towers anymore, you're using the mini,
They're smaller, so we're just using
the ones
smaller
that mount,
computers.
you can mount them behind the.
We haven't been using those, but we can. We're not opposed to that. Yeah.
what did you have
certainly
for the
can look into
fire?
that. It will fall within the same price range.
What did you have for the price on the fire?
3,000.
Yeah, I've got that here.
Yeah.
That's pretty-
Yeah, this didn't change. I had these highlighted the last time we met.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Perfect. Well, nothing's perfect, but as good as we're gonna get. Okay,
Okay.
Tom.
I have my notes and tasks. I will put this together and get it mailed off to you.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Larry.
sir.
Thanks for your help today,
coming
Karen.
late.
You're
Sure,
welcome.
Steph,
No, no
thank you as well.
Okay, while we're on, highway's not here.
No. Not due till 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
See you
While we've
tomorrow.
got, a moment, let's make a decision on this, phone system. Do we all have copies of this?
I do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I put together a breakdown of the pricing. And, of course, Tom from Lakes Region, gave us a price. We got a price from Teletechniques and a price from a company called Formax. Formax was just, the terms were, not agreeable, and the price was much higher than the other two companies. Lakes Region Computer and Teletechniques both offer 36-month terms, and they're both very competitive in pricing. Teletechniques is just ever so slightly higher in the initial purchase price, but their monthly recurring charge is less. And nothing against Tom and Lakes Region Computer, but I don't think it's a good idea to put both technologies into one basket. If we have any problems with either a phone company or an IT company, I think having them separate is better for the town. So I would make a motion to award Teletechniques 36-month term using the VoIP ownership clause, where we actually purchase the equipment and subscribe to their service.
And this is a 36-month contract?
36-month term, yes. That would be $3,307.30 for the equipment purchase price. $352.50 is the recurring monthly charge, and that's going to be paid for by the reduction on our phone bill by going to VoIP. That's
Which
easy.
would happen under either case.
Which would happen under either case. That's right.
I did the and I'm sorry, I didn't second it. I'm gonna second Bob's motion for discussion.
Mhm.
So doing the math, the annual, or the first year's outlay for Lakes Region would be $7,670. For Teletechniques was $7,537, so it's $133 difference, so they're 6 1/2 dozen the other.
Right.
And the reduction in the phone bill would happen under either VoIP
That's right.
system, but it isn't gonna cover the $7,500 or $7,600, so, just so that, for the people out there in television land, that
Well, it'll
gonna cover the monthly fee.
it'll cover the monthly fee,
Right,
but the initial, the $3307.30
right.
equipment purchase price we have to come up with.
And you're comfortable with the, service and warranty language in with them?
I've been using Teletechniques at the county for 12 years and have had nothing but stellar service from them. Quality product, and they've done all the buildings of the, we did a complete workover of the phone system at the county.
Okay, so you have history with them?
I have
I'm gonna
extensive
have to,
history.
and I am not gonna make this a precedent, it's only a one-time occurrence. But do you have anything to add to the telephone conversation? Kim?
No.
Okay.
It's just to replace all the existing phones.
Right,
Yes.
and the system, right.
Yeah.
I guess, Mr. Pike, I'll ask you if you have anything to say while we're under second.
It's been pretty well explained. I think, in my mind, we're gonna replace the existing phone system. Bob's recommending Teletechniques. He's had good relationship and good service. It seems to work out fairly well for everybody. I think we could vote on this.
Okay, let's vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Nobody's against. Okay, so we've just passed the authority to get the telephone system from Teletechniques. Good.
I will, I'll take the lead on getting that going.
Sure. That would be great, cause, yeah, if you got the time. That would be nice. While we're waiting for Mr. Highway to show up, I did talk to Tyler Phillips. It's gonna amount to my selectmen's report. I talked to Tyler Phillips for quite a long time on Tuesday, about the Union Wharf project. And it's moving along. He did give me two numbers that he got for doing the work. One was for, one was for $515,000.
That's a problem.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the bad news. The good news is the other one was for, if you add in the timber work, which was the 75, they wanted 75 in the initial, the first bidder. 35 for the second one. The total cost is $375,000. We've got 287. 5 in there now, and he's working on $100,000 grant, which would be 387, so that puts us way over the top. It's, the number. That's all right. So it's $87,500 is the difference between what we have or had and what we need. So $100,000 grant is going to satisfy that.
Work, yeah.
The only caveat on that is we have to figure out how, they want language in the application that says that we're gonna hold the dock and the boat launch in perpetuity. And I don't know, I think it is held in perpetuity currently, but I think we may have to add some language to the warrant article that we're putting forward to state that we're holding in perpetuity.
Meaning we won't sell it?
Ever, right? Now, you have that, but then we have the grant and right, which they're still futzing around with, but their time to futz is coming to a close, because there's time limits on how long they have. But one of the issues that was before the Attorney General was how much is it gonna cost us to buy the property underneath the pier? And Tyler's position was $1 seemed like a lot, but we'd be willing to pay $1. And I was thinking, you've got one bunch of, or one part of government that wants us to hold it in perpetuity, and another one who wants to charge us for the dock or the property underneath. And I'm thinking we should be able to combine those and say, okay, well, we will obligate the town to pick a number, $5 million penalty if the town ever sells it. I mean, we have to do something to assuage this grant and right people, but we also have to hold it in perpetuity. But holding things in perpetuity is not impossible to break. Happens all
Certainly
the
not,
time.
look at Brewster Academy.
So I'd like to, so I'm gonna continue to work with Tyler on that piece of it, but I think we have money enough to do the project. We also
With
have-
the grant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have the grant, plus we've got another $57,000 in bridge money we can mess around with. We've got some money left in our grants, so I think we can, and that's just a preliminary number. We haven't really nailed it down with this guy. I mean, if we start putting it out as an RFP, and part of what he's doing is different from what the other guy's doing. There was coated and uncoated. So Tyler wanted all of us, or one of us, to go over to Melvin and look at what the bulkhead looks like there. That's uncoated steel. And is that okay, or do we wanna go with coated steel? Which lasts a little longer and looks a lot better, but it's
What
not,
does it do to
it's
the
not
price?
free, it's $110,000. I mean,
Upgrade?
no, I added it in already, so it's a downgrade. So the number that I gave you, the $375,000, would be $110,000 less if you didn't coat it. But it may be a short-term money solution for long-term.
Did they change the gauge of the metal between
No,
coated
metal's-
and uncoated?
Well, the gauge is gonna change by the thickness of the coating, but nothing more than that.
No, but the gauge of the metal is the,
That
it doesn't change?
Right. Take a look, I mean, we've got a little bit of time.
Sure.
I think we leave the warrant article alone the way it is. We still have, we haven't added in any gain that we've made in the market since
The last-
September. I think we
yeah.
had that number to 287.5. So it might be up, it will be up a bit more because the trust fund makes some money for us. So that's,
Promising?
yeah, I think it works. Is he coming?
Yes, but
Supposed to be here at
5:30.
Oh, I thought, I was looking at the hour hand, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
We need a digital clock.
Yeah, we need something.
Kids today can't do analog. You kids.
Do we wanna go through the warrant articles?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
We have a list. I don't know where to put it. No, it's not there. How do I misplace it? I just had it. Here it is. Okay, we had, Catherine and Tammy kind of put together this list for us. Guy, did you get this?
Yeah, I
one?
got that.
Okay. So if we go. Through the warrant, letter by letter. Okay, we're all set with the first warrant article, which is the Union Wharf at 287.5.
I'm not happy with the wording.
Okay, what was,
When it says no money to be raised from taxes,
right,
I'd prefer to see no monies to be raised from new taxes. Because all money's raised from taxes, except for grants.
right, it hasn't been run through the DRA yet.
That's why I'm saying we could change it now.
Well, we can change it however we want, but they're gonna change it for us anyway,
Okay,
so.
leave that alone then.
Oh, no, I'll have it submitted with no money to be raised with from new taxes. If the
People always-
DRA accepts that, then that's
Okay.
fine.
Or no additional monies to be raised from taxes?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it, I guess.
there's some standard language that they use,
Right.
so we'll make sure it happens. Let's leave the road projects alone. The next is the police cruiser, which has been approved for $50,000. And then,
And to be clear, that's not money for a police cruiser. That's $50,000 for the police vehicle expendable fund,
right,
which could cover a gamut of things,
right, or nothing.
or nothing.
But there's already $18,000 in that account.
It's not the promise of a new police cruiser.
So have a balance of $68,000. Article E. Is $14,250.
Yep.
For
Generator.
the generator for the Melvin Village Station.
Yep.
Okay, $5,000, Article G. Stop me whenever you want it, because we can change any of these.
So we skipped over F.
Yeah. What was that?
The $500 veterans tax credit,
Okay,
but we're
right.
all good with that.
Let's just re-establishing that, or reaffirming it. $5,000 for the discretionary contingency fund. There was, you were there,
Yes.
there was talk about increasing that. I'm not certain, I mean, what's your feeling?
I'd leave it the way it is. Even when I was on the budget committee, it's not a lot of money that we have there, but you could replace a well pump possibly, or a small thing in a building. And again, it comes from the undesignated fund balance. If we don't spend it, it goes back. So
Right.
I'd leave it just the way it is.
I think $5,000 is a paltry, arbitrary number, but lacking anything of substance to increase it.
Well, and just remember that without a number or a titled fund called contingency, you can't move money into contingency, right, from other parts of the budget.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if we had a $25,000 tragedy, at least we have someplace to go with it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll leave that at 5.
Yeah.
H is the fire,
New car one.
right, so we wanna be at
125.
125. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna add 5 to that. Okay. I is the solar, which once again needs to get reworded, because we need to describe what it is we're buying with this money. But that's not 270, that should be $210,000, because it's 300 less.
And 90 from a federal rebate.
30%, right.
And I'm gonna be having a teleconference next Monday with Maureen Callahan from USource, who's gonna be another avenue that we can look at,
Okay, good.
solar. And she's also gonna be talking about bulk purchasing of electricity.
The
for us.
300, just so we're clear on where that came from, I was getting a ballpark from installers of $300 a thousand. So this is for what would that be, a megawatt?
3 kilowatt.
Kilowatt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You said $300 a kilowatt?
No. Was a kilowatt 1,000 more?
Yes.
Okay, this should be,
We're not in the megawatt range. We don't.
right,
We're in kilowatts.
right. I thought it was $300 per thousand. How much do you get out of a panel?
Or what, electrical? Oh, one of the, a
Yeah.
solar panel? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But we're not in megawatt territory by any stretch. We're not even close.
No, I thought it was
Kilowatts.
kilowatts.
That's the next number down.
Right, okay. Right. So that should buy us 1,000 kilowatts. I think. Anyway, J is the police, or the fire engine,
Fire truck, capital reserve fund for the
Capital
fire
reserve.
truck.
yep,
So, $50,000. If we've got a 10-year plan and a fire truck's gonna be $100,000, it's gonna take 20 years to put the money away at $50,000.
right,
Is that
but
how you wanna do it?
historically, that's not how it has worked. It's been, when we had a capital reserve, let's say for 10 years, and we now have $500,000, and they get the price in for the fire engineer that's $1 million, let's say. Then you have 1 year where you have a $500,000 warrant article for that year.
I would rather put the money aside, I'd rather put $100,000
Hygiene.
aside for 10 years than take a $500,000 hit 1 year.
Okay, it's quite a long time out there, but, and it's not to say that between now and then, you don't have more opportunity to put additional money in the.
Well, no, every year you have a chance to do it.
Right. Okay. So we have that one and the loader are the two contentious issues in my mind. And just so we can look at it reasonably, if you add all of this together on the left-hand column, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,070,000, 1,000,001, you're at about 1,000,003, without counting in the union war.
I was at $1,259,880.
Okay.
That's my math.
Yeah.
And that's taking out the union wharf at the top, and changing I to $210,000 rather than $300,000.
Right. So what did you have?
1,259,880.
And we've got,
But I think that, let's see. Minus 90.
so that pushes our total budget with warrant articles up to $6,012,633.
And actually, that 1,259,880 is with L being at
178,
170,500.
178, 500.
170,500.
Okay, so we take 8,000 off that, we're still at 6,004,633.
That's fully funding the loader.
And just so you know, he's applied for a grant as well, Chris says. It wants to.
For his loader?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we don't know whether or not, when's that gonna award, do you know? Does it say? So you're 1,500,000, what was your number again?
You take off the 90,000
Yeah.
from here,
Yeah,
okay? You add in
120.
the 120 on L,
Yeah,
which actually should have been 128, so I'm $8,000 shy. And then you take out the 287 at the top,
mhm.
and then add in,
1, 2, 5.
if you add in $50,000 on J, that puts 100,000 in for the fire, and 170,500 for the loader, gives you 1,259,880.
So we are $227,000 apart. You and me. So what I did, just so you know where I was coming from, was I kept the fire down at 50 and the loader at 50. So that's $100,000 there. And I changed
Oh, and you gotta add in $25,000 for the, on C, because we bumped up that to 125.
Okay, so that would bring us up to 200, which is right. So then I did the calculation of last year, I took 22 versus 23, so if you look at the 22 budget with no articles, you're at $5,406,585. 23, the way I did my math, we're at $5,788,133.
Difference of 200,000?
Yeah.
That's not awful.
No, I'm trying to keep so continuing the calculation, if we take the difference between the two budgets and find a percentage, that's a 7% increase year to year. If we go out to $1.2 million, we're gonna have to add $200,000 to the warrant, which is gonna push us up probably in the 8, maybe 8.5. Have to figure it out. I could. So we have a couple of things that will mitigate some of the expenses that we have going forward. And we did have some income increases this year. So is there $200,000 that we can find in the undesignated fund balance for October? Because the taxes are already set until then. But when they go to be set again, we're gonna have to run the budget up a little higher than 7%. So if we wanted to mitigate that, we'd have to take some money out of the fund to reduce taxes, if you will, to repay the tax bill with taxes that we've already collected, so paying Paul and Peter's money.
Okay, yeah, I've gotta be careful doing that though, I don't wanna do that year to year.
Well, you can, but we haven't done it for a couple of years anyway. One year we did it big time, just to bring the fund down, which drove Jack, our treasurer, crazy, but
It's the people's money.
yeah, certainly let them have it. It's in that song, right? J.G. Wentworth. Okay, that was one of my thoughts. The other about the loader was, I'm just not ready to spring for a loader personally. You guys can make the motion if you want. I'm ready to put some money into a fund for a loader.
I'm totally satisfied with establishing the capital reserve fund as written here in our warrant article. $50,000,
Okay,
For the loader.
yes.
you wanna argue that, Bob?
No,
You
because,
sure?
yeah, because I don't have enough justification to argue it.
Okay,
I don't have anything to stand on.
okay. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve Article L for a loader for $50,000 in a capital, non-lapsing capital reserve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. On the fire, okay, so I won one, are we gonna win the next one? On the fire engine,
Jay?
Jay. You're gonna have to move that, Bob.
All right, I will move $100,000 to be put in a non-lapsing expendable trust for a fire department
To replace the
to replace the existing,
engine two, I think it is.
yeah, whichever it is.
I'll second for discussion.
Okay,
Again, I'm happy with the $50,000 this year.
My only concern is if we're gonna pay for it and save money, we save money for it and pay for it in 10 years. If we put in $50,000, you're only saving half of what we should be saving. I don't think it's fair to the taxpayer to give them a $500,000 hit when we're ready to buy the,
right, and that's presuming that we just do 50 a year for 10 years.
Right.
yeah,
And we gotta revisit this 9 more times.
I know.
So it could be that you do 250 one year because you don't have a Union Wharf to build, you don't have a police station.
Or a
whatever.
solar array or any
Yeah.
of that, Yeah.
or solar array, whatever.
Yeah, I stand by my motion.
And it's been seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we fund that warrant article, J, I guess it is, for $50,000.
Second?
I think it's been talked to death.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Did we vote on it, Cammy, did we vote on the solar already?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we, have a warrant article that reads, raising $300,000 to erect a solar array, $210,000 from taxes and $90,000 from federal refunds or rebates. We'll get the language of what it actually is. Total amount of taxes raised would be $210,000.
May I offer continued wording?
Sure.
Just
You
put
can
this
write
in,
it if you want.
no, just put this in a, again, put it in a non-lapsing expendable.
Right,
In case it doesn't happen this year.
right, which happened with the dock.
Right.
I've made my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, $36,130 for the compactor. We haven't voted for that either, have we, Kim?
Nope.
Okay, this is Article K. It's to replace compactor 2, I think, at the transfer station for a cost of $36,130.
I'd make a motion to approve that.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Did we vote on the police, the fire department vehicle?
We did,
Yes.
but we have to revisit it.
Okay. I didn't know that we had it, so that's Article H.
Right.
Hold on. H.
We raised the number.
Yes, you voted.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the seventh,
For 125,000?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, earlier today?
Yep.
Okay, so we have moved on that article.
we didn't vote on it previously on another
No.
100,000?
Because he
Okay.
No.
hadn't given us.
We waited for
All
it,
right.
didn't have the info.
Gotcha.
Okay, so,
But it did pass at 125 earlier today.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
so the $22,000
What do you want? Where are you, Chip?
M,
Okay.
that's for,
Highway garage heating system.
Oh, and
is that something we need to do this year?
It's not broken, and I've been seeing this since day one.
Right.
It keeps going.
the
but-
tube heaters, you're still using,
tube, yes,
you're
the-
still using those 3 propane tube heaters,
Correct, yep.
and they're still going.
Amazingly,
I put those in
I remember you saying that.
20-something, 20 years ago.
Yeah, they're still running. You know, we have.
Reggie was still our road agent.
Poor businessman, you could've had more business putting new ones.
Yeah, we have to tinker with them a little bit, but, just to quiet them down a little bit, but
Yeah.
they keep running. I don't think they're very efficient, but they're working. And by the way, by putting that insulation in the attic area, it's a noticeable difference. I think we're gonna save money from that.
Can we eliminate this one? I think we can come up with 22 grand of the different infrastructure monies that we got coming in.
As we progress through the year, we'll know what we got.
Yeah.
And Bob, you and I talked a little bit, like maybe there's some other thoughts on how to go about doing the system as well. Maybe we wanna have a further
Yeah,
discussion
let's have
about
a
that.
design, how about that?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Well, that particular style of heater was put in for a reason.
Yes, and it works great if you're trying to thaw out the back of a bed.
Right.
If you back a truck and then it's frozen.
And bring up quick heat in the place, yes. It's designed to heat objects, not air.
Yep. It works.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we eliminate that article for this
Second.
year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's move on to the paving, I'll clean this up. And we've got
Yeah, let's do this whole thing.
our expert here, ready on the paving.
I did prepare a thought on the, it's just a thought on the second page, as far as priority. It's just an idea, we can all probably come up with different ideas, but. You know, I was thinking that maybe it made sense to finish up Federal Corners Road, get that road done by putting a finish coat on it, which is 189, 105. And then I was proposing that maybe we do half of Tufton Road neck, where we reclaim it, pave the 2.5-inch base, and gravel the shoulders, which is 186, 463.
Does that take us up to the cemetery, up to Cross Neck Road? Or just, or half of the length of Tufton Burn Neck?
Cross Neck Road would be the whole.
Yeah, Cross Neck Road,
The
okay,
whole
yeah,
road.
it's the whole road of
That is
8,000
the-
feet.
That is the whole road, okay.
Yeah,
So half of it.
yeah, so.
Okay,
But we would need work done before we're ready for that, and, you know, the prep work to do on that, like cut and remove all the rocks that are pushing up in the pavement, excavate ditch lines along the road edges, and install erosion stone, replace the old metal culverts, excavate out areas where the alligator cracking problems are, and fix the base, remove the high roadsides from the buildup over the years. Approximately, I think we're looking at, you know, 81,500 to do all that work.
And you do the first half, coming off of 109, right? First?
Well, we have the option, we don't necessarily have to. They're both in terrible shape, we've seen both. I do know that when we first pull off, right there, we have a pretty major settling problem going on. But I'd love to take care of one way or the other.
all right, so that's $457,068. So we have allocated for major roads 400,000. Is the 57,068
You know,
gonna fall into something else?
well, we could shorten the 4,000 feet by whatever we needed to. You know, maybe it won't be exactly half, but it'll be.
What happened to our discussion about doing, not finishing Federal Corner this year?
That is an option. We don't necessarily have to put the top coat on, but at the same time, you know, it does protect it from, you know, it puts that extra 1.5 inches of pavement on there
Mhm.
so that it's a little bit more sturdy for trucks and stuff like that. We don't start cracking the edges. I have noticed when we wait a little bit longer, sometimes we do get the cracking in the edges. I don't think it's the end of the world, but at the same time, do we want to just finish it and be done with that section?
Well, I thought we were gonna do the other half of Shirley Way.
Okay, which
That's on the neighborhood.
I put that under
Yeah.
neighborhood paving.
Yeah, but the money's gonna be changing, so that I think it.
Okay, you're gonna shift it around.
I think it comes in the same conversation. I thought we talked about doing the other half of Shirley Way, reclaiming base coat.
Yep,
Pine Mill Drive reclaiming base coat, which I don't even see on the list anymore.
well, this is just what I'm proposing. I can show, I still have the list of the pricing if we wanna review that.
And then with those two reclaimed and base coated under neighborhood roads, then we see what we can do. Well, are we calling Tufton Borough Neck a neighborhood road
No,
or a main road?
it's a main road.
Okay.
So you need to take 1,225 feet off of that before we ran to bring it down to 400,000, but, I'm sorry, Bob.
That's okay.
Just did my math.
I thought we were doing the other half of Shirley Way.
That was just something you and I were talking about, throwing the ideas around.
Yeah, but I
Yep.
really like that idea. And then maybe next year, doing a finish coat on all the stuff that is base
So you
coated.
you're saying let Federal Corner ride for another year on a finish coat?
Yes.
When I was a budget committee member, I brought the state and federal recommendations in for top coating, which was between 2 and 4 weeks after base coat. not even waiting a year. Waiting 2 years, in my opinion, would be a tragic mistake. It's more chance for water, salt, and everything to permeate, break down from trucks driving on it. I'd prefer to finish it myself.
Oh. I mean, I don't have a problem with making the warrant article $450,000 for major roads and getting it all done. I mean, we're only $7 grand short, and I know it's 81.5, it's a little heavy on this extra stuff. And we're at 98,627 for the Shirley Way Woodland Drive prep work. What was the other one that you were talking about?
Pine Mill.
So I have that price here for Pine Mill, and that was $186,582.
Is that complete or just reclaiming base coat?
That's
That must be complete. It's not that long a road.
you know what, this does say a 1-inch surface, so that is with a 1-inch surface, which adds another 50,000 to it.
And we're at 230,000?
No. So you would subtract the 50,000 if we were just doing the base coat. Subtract the 50,240 from the 186,582. So it'd be like 136,000.
Still more than we've designated so far, anyway, for that.
And is
Right.
that, again, it's a neighborhood road for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we haven't finished Shirley Way yet. I think
Right.
we really need to finish one project before we move on to another one,
Mm-hmm.
if
I
possible.
agree.
So does this $98,627 on neighborhood paving, does that accomplish finishing Shirley Way?
Except for the top coat. There's no top coat on
Right.
it.
Right.
And it doesn't include the road that, Chandler Road that connects the two, connects it to the main road.
Mhm.
I do have a price for that as
How
well.
much is the Chandler Road price?
We gotta go back to this, but. Sheila Road, for just the base, we're looking at another $48,534.
48,548?
Yes, so we also would have to do some work to that road as well, too. I know on the bottom we have an issue with that culvert.
Well, I guess that's we took $100,000 off the warrant that you had created by putting $50,000 in the fire engine, $50,000 in the, actually took more than that off. Let's just say we took $100,000 off. We could make the major road paving $450,000 and the neighborhood at $450,000.
No.
150.
I'm sorry, 150.
Thank you.
Which would accomplish Chandler Road and the finishing of Shirley Way without a top coat.
And it would take care of half of Tuftonburg Neck, right?
Right. Yeah, we'd be halfway through Tuftonburg Neck.
And that's
So we can assume that next year we have,
Where's Woodland Drive?
that's off of Shirley Way. It's a dead end, 400-foot long
Yeah.
road. But I figured, I looked at it, it's cracked, it's got breakup, and if we're there, we might as well do it for the
so
17,000.
186 minus 50 was gonna get us the
Pine Mill,
Pine Mill.
136 to
to do the base.
reclaim and base. Less prep work.
True,
You
there's
got-
gonna be a lot of rocks.
You got
coming
rocks
out
to
of it.
pull out of there.
Yeah, and I don't know, I
So
haven't checked
that-
the culverts on that.
That would, I mean, let's say we just jump the budgets up here now to 450 and 150.
Mhm.
That means that in 2024, you're looking at 150 to do Pine Mill, which should accomplish what needs to get accomplished there.
Mhm.
And then you've got 450 which you can move around to finish.
The other half.
The other half
The
of
other half.
Tuftonboro Neck.
The other half of Tuftonboro Neck.
Yeah.
You've already top coated North Line, so now you can top coat both,
Federal Corners.
I'm sorry, Federal Corner. Then you can top coat, all of Tuftonboro Neck the following year.
Well, as long as we give some attention to Pine Mill next year. Next year.
It's not gonna make you recuse yourself on this one.
That is in poor shape. I mean, we have a lot of roads in poor shape.
Well, I've had multiple people, and yes, for the record, I own a house on Pine Mill, but it's not for my benefit, it's for the other neighbors that have been,
No, but I think we're
Screaming at me.
moving in the right direction.
yeah.
Shirley Way was many years of people coming in to tell us we had to work on the road. We finally did.
Yep.
I hope we don't have to wait that long for Pine Mill. I don't think we will.
Which was probably in worse shape to start with.
All right, well, given this list, I'm gonna make a motion that we do major road paving, which would be Article B at $450,000.
Second?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And neighborhood roads at 150,000.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
You know, under CIP, projects that I put in for, I don't know if you have it, but I also put in for paving the second half, the second top of the highway department parking lot area. Did you guys see that one at all?
I'm sure I saw that.
Okay, I didn't know if there was any discussion for that.
I thought we were gonna wait until the
Cell tower's done?
cell tower stuff.
They're there now, I think they're finishing up.
Not far from it.
Yeah, they're almost done. They have a crane there and
They
everything.
were putting on what looked like a big array on top when I went by
Nice.
yesterday. So,
Does it have limbs?
not yet.
Not yet.
I think the fire department's the only one that,
Has limbs?
yeah.
Yeah. I think we're played out, Jim. I'd love to do something for you,
Okay.
but next year.
There
Or
is
you
a-
could use your profit to pay your parking lot.
That's
what
the
everybody
item that
else
says road agent
Yeah.
in the budget, that, feel free to spend that money on paving that.
Okay. We did plow a pretty big hole in it. You know, with the soft weather we had.
Speaking of
The truck plowed into it.
soft weather, there is, state money, I think, coming out for this past rainstorm. That's what I heard.
There's discussion about it.
And
We
we
haven't
did-
heard any more about it, but.
Yeah. I think we're in good shape with your budget. We did get an extra bridge fund money that came through, so we can look at some of your culvert work, I think.
And
for
there's some
that.
highway funds coming down too, right? The highway
Highway trust fund money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came in. But we've got 57,000 we're gonna vote on, not till our next regular meeting to accept it.
Right.
But that's bridge aid, and I think
Right.
culverts qualifies for bridge aid, so. I think some of this general stuff that you're doing for rebuilding for drainage is gonna get
Yeah, that would be
helped out.
very,
And
very
we still have a
appreciated.
little bit of federal money left, so.
You know, because we have been talking, we had this study done to do a lot of the drainage on the side of Ledge Hill. That would have been quite helpful.
Right.
Before
That,
the
that
storm.
grant process is still in play.
Yeah.
That hasn't ended yet, so,
Okay.
Bergeron has been working on that.
That was for the culvert replacing, I think, the one that we discussed this summer with them.
Yeah, I thought there was drainage involved in that too.
No, I asked about it. I said, the most important thing is Ledge Hill drainage. I showed him the area and he's like, oh, I'm aware. We did the study or the,
Well, maybe the
engineering,
flooding in California will move some federal money into that stuff, so. But
Okay.
we'll- yeah, I mean, I know you were spent because of that rainstorm,
yeah,
so,
that damage was substantial. We're finding more every day.
and I don't think that's gonna go away. I mean, I think we're gonna continue to have water issues in some areas, like the Sodom Road crossing there. I don't know if you fixed that permanently, it doesn't look it, but.
No, we patched it up the best we could because that unfortunately is a culvert larger than 48 inches, which I'm only certified to do 48 inches without having a engineer design. So it'd have to be re-engineered, and we patched it pretty good. I think we can get more time out of that. We can,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you did a good job on the other side, on the Dame Road side, years ago, when that got replaced.
Okay, yeah, that was prior to me, but
Okay. Yeah, but that solved that, I mean, it used to
It
have
didn't
to
solve
be-
it.
Well,
Oh, you didn't see it. You didn't see it on Saturday morning after that rainstorm.
yeah,
I came in early. We had to close the road because the water was crossing. When I came in early that morning, it was a piece of ice that floated from the swamp, covered over the entire road, and then got stuck. We had to go get the trucks and stuff trying to push it off and
well, it's
break
only-
it up. It was
it's only fair, we
impressive.
get stuck on ice should get stuck on us. Speaking of trucks, how's our truck coming?
I haven't, to be honest with you, I actually haven't called him to find out anymore, but
Okay,
he said it would be in this, probably by the end of this month is what I was
Okay.
told. And then it's gotta go to the outfitters to have the
right,
plows put on.
okay, and he did get the check, so now we have a contractual agreement with money.
I think that was a very good move.
Anything else for James Bean?
I've had multiple complaints about how much sand's being put down. I personally have never seen this much sand being put down before. And I've only been here 68 years, so maybe before that it was. That's all I'm gonna say on that. However, we need to start thinking about guardrail repair and replacement too. We got a bunch of them that are absolutely atrocious and safety
do.
hazard if nothing else.
Yep, that is something that we did look into at one point. We had a company come, that's all they do is install guardrails. I think it's probably time to get an updated quote from them. The one on Sodom Road is real bad. I think it's gonna have to be removed anyways if the
Yeah.
culvert ever gets
Well, the
replaced.
Dame Road, Ledge Hill Road one has been hit how many times? And it's still,
It used to get hit
yeah.
every single year.
It touches the utility pole now.
Except we started putting in a lot of extra sand,
Yeah.
and then that stopped happening.
Well, they're putting the sand,
Good,
I don't know where they're putting the sand, cause they're not putting it on Durgan Hill.
really.
There wasn't an ounce of sand on that the other day when it snowed, so just saying.
Well,
And I saw the truck go by, and I looked at his tailgate, no sand coming out.
it's possible that he was going to another, we all have our own routes, so we don't.
Well,
Sand
roads on
each other's
that
route.
was getting nice.
The new trucks put it out in front of the back wheels, not in the back end with a little spinner,
Yeah,
so.
is that what they did?
Yeah,
Yeah,
those trucks wouldn't make the hill otherwise.
I'm gonna start looking at these things more closely.
Yeah, they come out between the back wheels and the front wheels.
Well, I didn't see any sand on the road, so the wheels must have all picked it up, I don't know.
Sometimes it doesn't look heavy.
Did you have those glasses on?
I could have, well, I don't drive with these, maybe I should start.
it looked like Elton John.
Anything else for our friendly road agent?
I'm good to go.
Okay, keep up the good work and make sure you come to the next meeting.
Okay.
I don't think, I think we can walk, but I know I can walk the budget committee through the issues that we talked about with the paving. I'll take this along with my newsy notes, and
Okay,
we'll be good to go.
sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have anything else?
No, I was listening to see what all your warrant articles were.
Okay.
I don't know if you finished or.
Two
We
left.
have.
Two left.
No,
Two.
we still have, do we have to do O? No, N.
And
N and O.
what's O?
That's the final budget. But
Oh, we had done the
I don't
final
know.
budget.
Now.
We already voted on the final budget, so we don't have to do that. We
What?
approved a budget. The budget committee has not voted on the final budget, I don't believe. And then however it's worded in the warrant article, I think the budget committee's budget is worded first. Okay, and fire suppression.
Oh, that's where I was.
That's where you were coming in, honey.
Yeah, fire suppression system is gonna protect, both upstairs and downstairs vaults
Okay.
in the event of fire.
And why do we need that when we have fireproof rooms?
Well, what if a fire starts in that room? You have a firewall in between,
Right,
but if something happens in that room, you've got electronic equipment in there, you've got copiers and stuff in there. If a fire starts in that room,
It'll be contained.
it'll be contained
Well,
in
just
that room.
close
That's
the
right.
door and let it go.
everything in there is fireproof, all the,
No, not all the cabinets are, and they're only the cabinets I think are only have a 1 or 2 hour fire rating.
well, all except the one that Jack just bought, I think.
Yeah, there are some rated fire cabinets in there, but, do you wanna take the risk of everything that's, you know what's in there more than I do. Do you wanna risk having a fire in there?
No, I don't want a fire anywhere, but I'm just, I mean, those file cabinets, and it'd be hard for me to see stuff destroyed, packed in there to begin with, even if it's not a fireproof file. I know if stuff's packed in solid, it doesn't necessarily, we have fire alarms too.
You do? But,
And is there any duplication between the downstairs and the upstairs as far as what's filed?
Yeah, not duplication, no, but I
Okay.
mean, there's stuff that's, has to be saved in perpetuity
Right.
downstairs. There is, like, my tax stuff, I have to keep every receipt for every nickel I get for 6 years.
Right.
So that goes downstairs until I put the next one down, and then that's,
So what's in the upstairs, is there any historical,
yes,
Stuff
it's all in the safes. There's 2 safes here.
no, is it all upstairs?
No, I believe there's some downstairs in the safe. It's
Okay.
in that room.
But the historical documents are in the safe upstairs if
Yes.
they're there?
Yes,
So what's in the file cabinets are all over the place?
it's,
Annual
planning
stuff?
board stuff,
Deeds.
assessing stuff, what,
Deeds,
keys?
deeds,
Oh, deeds, yeah, which
maps.
most the, planning board stuff is, well, it's all been recorded at the registry of deeds. Most everything that is in that room has been recorded at the registry of deeds or on our computer. And all the real historic things from 1700s are all now in new bound books that Heather started and Jen, and those are all.
Those are downstairs?
No, those are in the safe up here.
Okay.
There are some the original covers for the books and things like that, some of the things are downstairs in that safe, but the new bound selectmen's meetings, town meetings from the 1700s, 1800s, birth.
So all the stuff that's irreplaceable is in a safe, is that what you're telling me, of one sort or another?
Yes.
And
If
then,
it's irreplaceable, it's in the safe.
and then recorded documents are upstairs, but they're also recorded at the registry. I guess I gotta be convinced, Bob. I'm wondering if it's needed, that's all. I know nobody wants to lose records, but if they're replaceable records, how much do you wanna spend to keep them?
those are the town's documents.
Yeah.
Everything that is the town is in those 2 vaults, upstairs and downstairs. I'm gonna recommend that we install the system.
Okay.
Anything short of that, you're putting those documents at risk. Even if you do have a fire department comes in, they're gonna use water. Water will ruin documents. You wanna put in a system that is gonna snuff out a fire without water. And that's what this system
I
does.
guess the other issue or the other question is, you obviously can't keep that room closed all day because it's an active space.
Right.
So does that diminish or eliminate the veracity of the fire suppression?
No, I think there's already magnetic releases tied into the fire alarm system. That if the fire alarm goes off, the magnetic releases will release and those doors will close.
Hopefully we're not inside.
Well, you can still get out, I mean,
Yeah.
it just releases them.
Okay.
I have another question. As, I know 7 or 8 years ago, Heather, when she was town clerk, got a grant. And that's how we got 2 new safes and got some of those books bound. And we had somebody come here and evaluate that room and what's stored there and made recommendation. I don't know if that's still where that recommendation is. In order for us to get this grant, we had to have that done. So I guess my question is, has a professional come and looked or and
I
made a
think that's how we got the
recommendation of what was?
That's how I got the estimate, is I had a professional company come in.
So someone came in here and looked at what we had?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know that.
And nothing, I mean, I know we got some fireproof cabinets. The system's based on the square footage of the room, or the cubic footage, I guess would be better.
yep, and the product is called the Dry Agent. They used to use Halon. Halon's a CFC, you can't use Halon anymore. So this product is, it's not like a regular fire extinguisher where it sprays that white dust. It's not CO2. It's a, I don't know the science behind it, but it's not gonna damage the product. It's not gonna damage the fire, the paper if a fire happens.
Right.
We have it at the Sheriff's Department, and the electronics in the radio room. It's safe for electronics, it's safe for paper. You guys can vote me down.
Well, no,
I just-
Questions?
I don't have a problem putting the warrant article out there. I don't think the discussion's over about the design and the, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to have $50,000 warrant article that you don't spend, because further discussions, but
Right.
if we wanna have the money to have the discussion, that's what we're talking about right now.
It'd be nice to be able to, at some point in time, present it to the voters in a way that they can understand what we're asking for. That'd be good.
Right.
Right, Bob?
Well, I think I'm not at all concerned about the voters
Okay.
voting that. I mean, we wanna preserve the town records, that's a pretty easy sell. I mean,
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
You know,
If it got voted down, that's nuts.
yeah,
I'm taking my experience, because this is what I do for a living, is deal with facilities. And seeing that room that's not protected bothers me. I'm gonna make the recommendation, I'm gonna make the motion right
there
here,
you go.
that we raise and appropriate the sum of $52,000 to purchase and equip to install a fire suppression system in the town office file rooms, plural.
I'll second that motion to move things along.
Okay, we've discussed it, do we wanna discuss it anymore?
If I get voted down, I've done my job.
Well,
I'll sleep knowing that I've done my job.
any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? I was kinda, and this is just editorializing, sometimes the split decision's an easier one to deal with at the town meeting. Okay, so I'm looking at, the total warrant being $1,192,380. That's a rough number. So, I think we're still within 8%.
Can we repeat that number for me? Let me just see yours.
This is my
There it goes.
back of the matchbook, 1,192,380.
More or less.
Yeah, plus or minus, but that isn't a huge increase, really.
No, if you look at the, if you take the whole budget, which is always a handy thing to do, and, let's go So that gives us a total budget with warrant articles of $5,945,133.
And what was last year?
5,406,535. So a difference of $538,000. I can do the, go 5,406. Oh, five. Five, nine, four, five, one, three, three.
8.9%.
So, yeah, we're at 9.1. That's what I got, 9.1%. Yeah, and if you look at, any grant money that's coming in, I mean, we don't have to be too careful at that point. Okay. So, Cammy, by Friday, or you'll have these done, we need to get these off to the budget committee,
Yeah,
so,
Kathy gave me the Word document to do that.
okay. And then you'll get us copies of it as well, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So we can, yep, paving, that's done. Action items,
how about signature file?
we're not gonna put that first, I guess.
9.1% is a significant increase.
It is, but if you wanna get anything done, we could just eliminate Pine Mill Drive. Oh, no, we already did that.
Well, we can talk about it some more.
Oh, he's busting my chops.
Yep,
I mean,
it's what don't we do without, is what it amounts to.
Yeah.
just so you know. 4655. Okay. $50,000 is what you need to come up with to take it down to 8. Do you wanna revisit any of these?
To take it down to 8%,
Yeah, or 8.1%.
8.1. No.
I'm all set, yep, positive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And,
I mean, we've all established these are things that we need to do.
yeah. Yeah,
And that's what we're gonna present. And with the inflation that we've all seen over the last year and 2 years, this is not surprising.
okay, we voted on it, this is what we've got, she's gonna print it out. We have until next Tuesday, if someone has a sleepless night and needs to talk about this, we're gonna be back in here to sign checks at the end of the week, so let me know. Okay, the first item for signature is an intent to cut on lot 45-1-17.
Move to sign?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Remember, it's 2023. The second is another intent to cut by the same individual for lot 43-3-3.
Move to sign?
Second?
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The next is a notice of appointment. Wait a minute. What is this?
It's for boat permits, to
Oh,
be able
alright.
to sell a
Alright.
boat.
All right.
Right, we have to appoint the agents every
Yep,
year.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a notice of appointment for David Ladd to be able to be a boat permit agent.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I just didn't want to give them too much political power. The next is a notice of appointment of Matt Young to be a boat permit agent.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nice. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to the, I guess this is correspondence.
No, it's action.
Is this action?
Mm.
It is action. Okay, I'm going to the action file. First is a letter from Christine Zadelis of 4 Hideaway Shores, Mirror Lake, New Hampshire. I'm assuming that this is a citizen of Tufton Borough.
Mm-hmm.
She's asking for a no parking sign installed at the Mirror Lake Post Office on the side of the road facing the post office. This spot is a trouble spot for pedestrians walking. This road getting their mail, and with a vehicle parked there, you cannot see if a vehicle is exiting the post office, and they cannot see you walking. And then a list of all of the concerns about parking, and this is parking on
The neck road.
the neck road. So have a read of that, and we'll talk about it if we might need to next
Need
week.
a little bit more information.
I'll take a ride down, just check it out.
Yeah, see if this is something we should bring up to the road agent.
Definitely.
So then we have a culvert AOP grant, which is gonna be due by February 6th. And it's a description of that grant process, which I think Bergeron's handling for us. I hope they are. We should get a copy of this to them, I think.
To who?
Bergeron Engineering,
Okay.
HEB.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
That's nothing that we have to
No, we have
vote
to have
to
somebody
accept.
put that together, and we don't have that skill set.
We're not there yet.
So we generally have HEB put the paperwork together. We already talked to Jim about the Allstate's pricing on the neck road, and we also talked about the computer system.
Mm-hmm.
And we voted on that, so we're good there, and we did the phone system, so we can award that. That's good. That's good. Good.
If he wants me to sign anything,
Who?
Teletechniques. Should I bring the contract in for review?
Don't we have the contract? I thought
We
we
have,
had it.
we have a proposal.
We have a proposal.
Okay, yeah, have them send the contract in, we'll sign it at our next
Definitely.
meeting.
Okay.
You know, if it, yeah, it should have more than one signature, but if it doesn't, then it's just sign it. But we should vote to sign the contract. We voted to award the bid, and we should vote to sign the contract. In the correspondence file I've got here, the first is from Tim Green, administrative assistant for whoever, I guess. Green and Roberts, that's where he's from. And this is just a question of how long we have to build the police station if we get our numbers together. And his answer is, as long as the local funding has been set aside and a separate project fund, we have as long as we need. There's no end point. This is a Tyler Phillips. And I'll handle this, because I talked to Tyler about it, but we need to put a warrant article together. This is for the $100,000 grant where we match 25% of that. So actually, his explanation was it's 125,000, and we have to put in 25. I don't understand how it works, but let's assume for a moment that it's 100,000, and we have to put up 25 grand. But it's for ramp and or dock facility parking and other structures associated with the facility. We need to put an article together for the warrant that says that those structures that we use this grant money for will be held in perpetuity for the benefit of the public,
Right.
not just the citizens of Tuftonboro. So that will keep any
Yeah.
board from, in the future, saying this is only for Tuftonboro residents. And I don't think we ever have said that. We have said that it's the only site for commercial use for barges.
Yeah.
So I'll talk again with Tyler on that on Friday. The American Youth Foundation, that would be
Maravista.
Kent Maravista has sent us a check for $3,500 in the payment of taxes, and we thank them very much. You read the decision on the Ragged Island motion, that was rejected. Got a certificate of successfully completing death and homicide investigation training, 40-hour training program with Tom LaFave. So we're ready for the next problem. They did a no shave to raise some money for veterans. That was a thank you letter. The library has sent us a copy of their ongoing budget. These are the solar signs that you mentioned. I think at some juncture, we're gonna have to have another meeting with our friends from the state. Because, I mean, this doesn't look like it's, I don't know what the.
What's the problem?
What's the issue?
Yeah, I don't see a thing.
Right.
It's so easy. I can say though that after the last wet snow, the lilac bush at the side of the house had sagged enough that you couldn't see the stop sign.
It was blocking the sign, I saw that.
We might have to talk to Mrs. Morrow about trying to.
This is a review of our reevaluation
Mhm.
program, and that was approved by the state. A reclassification of Cops Pond Dam. And I don't know, I know that we don't have a local ordinance with regard to fireworks. But this is a notice from the Department of Safety that they're they're putting together a list of municipalities where the use, display, or possession of permissible consumer fireworks is restricted or prohibited. And I know that we don't have any local ordinance for that.
No, Wolfboro does, but we don't.
Yeah, we've been asked to do that, but it was asked in such a broad way that it was unworkable. I mean, it was a noise ordinance more than it was.
We don't need any more broadly interpreted ordinances at this juncture, that's for sure.
And we've got a wetlands permit application for 14 Cavalry Point Road, Mirror Lake. And a description of our tax collectors left, but Sanssouci Associates did appraisal of the municipal telecommunications electrical transmission property in the town. This is a description of what they came up with for a taxable amount on those properties. That was all litigated, that's why St. Susan still does it. What's that? I'm coming to the end of my program. Didn't think of anything else, Kathy. Do we have any, selectmen's updates?
I do.
Okay.
I've been communicating with Mrs. Patricia Lovering, who's a member of a group called Jerry's Friends. We're all aware that Jerry Conway, everybody's friend, passed away recently. These folks would like to have our permission to place a permanent stone or rock at the beach at 19 Mile Bay as a memorial to Jerry Conway. And they have a picture here. They've got a local retired mason who would actually carve a chair out of a stone. You can see that. I'm going to get the one copy. And they presume that they might have a bronze plaque on it that said Jerry's Place, Jerry Conroy, a friend to all, 7760 to 121022. And they would arrange to have it set. They'd like to put it to the left of the ramp, but they don't want to go ahead and have this thing carved out without getting approval from the Board of Selectmen. And I think Dennis ought to be involved with that as well.
Well, placement is definitely gonna be an issue.
Yep. I have to go down and look with someone and tell me right where they want it. I don't know where this girl apparently inhabited a certain area that she really liked. And she'd be holding court down there during the daytimes when she was at the beach. But I'll give you guys the letter to read. It's pretty much, I summed it up in a couple of words. But
And is that, I mean, we've got some time to deal with this, I think, don't we?
well, they'd like to get started because they have the money from a GoFundMe thing to get that thing going. He's gonna have to find a rock and work on it. I'm not sure what it's gonna entail, but there'd be a seat that anyone could sit in. And the sentiment certainly strikes me as feasible. Again, location, we'll have to see. But
The only question I have, I mean, I support this in concept, but the only question I have is, would we be setting precedent for other people to be wanting to put rocks and memorials and whatnot down at the beach?
Well,
you can set a precedent, but it'll still be up to the Board of Selectmen to decide.
right, there's no, yeah, I guess I'd like to have you just check to see where they wanna put it. And then let's talk to Dennis and take a look at it, so we can answer at least that question, because if it can't go where they want it to go, then do they still wanna do it?
Right.
I guess that's the question.
I just don't, I don't know where this girl sat. I don't go to that beach, or any beach for that matter.
I don't,
So,
well, I don't know how important the sighting is.
yeah,
And if it's an issue with Parks and Rec or whatever.
right. Well,
Let's
past
get
that,
before we, I don't think,
I'm gonna leave this with Ken.
okay, I don't think it's a bad idea.
No,
I think it can get a little,
You can keep that guy, cause I have it on
oh,
my
you do?
computer, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I got all that too, but
we'll have to see. But
I think we need to be careful about
I'll be in touch with Pat by phone, and we'll talk about it more.
Yeah, just get a sighting. so
And I'll
we
go
can-
down
And then we'll have Dennis come in next time.
Yeah.
So let's put Dennis on the next meeting schedule.
He's on there.
Well, you can have to
Okay.
sit- You have to sit like that.
He's there, just be that way.
It's his regular day to come in, so he's already there.
That's what I would have had for input
Okay.
on Selectmen's
Don't
update.
have anything for you?
Yeah, we've got a concern from the planning board about the house that's being built in the corner of Sandy Knoll Road and 109A.
Okay.
They don't have any record that the selectmen gave permission to build a house on Class 6 road. And apparently it was supposed to have been permitted by the selectmen and then gone to the planning board.
Oh,
And, and there's no,
from our discussion earlier, I thought you were talking about another one that would be farther up, not the one that's currently being built.
well, that one is part of the conversation, I just
Okay.
haven't got there yet.
That's the one that you talked to.
Yeah.
Okay, so he should have been issued a building permit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to wait. When does Jack get back?
He's here.
He's here.
He was here today.
Okay. So let's have a chat with Jack, I'll talk to him, see
Yeah.
what the hell's going on. Cause he's usually pretty good about making sure that everybody's on board.
Yeah.
Um,
But Susan was telling me that, because I'm not completely sure, so she was telling me that it's in the RSA that it goes to the selectmen, then it goes to the planning board
right.
before the building permit gets issued.
It's never had to go to the planning board. So maybe the RSA changed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, maybe if it's a class 6 road, maybe that.
No, I know, but
I know what you're saying, I've never seen it.
when you have them sign a waiver,
Mhm.
Yep.
that takes the liability out of the town's field, and they understand that they're spending their own money on the road, so that's their issue. I'm not sure where this RSA came from, but I'll talk to Susan as well. Did she get to it?
I'm not sure, cause I'm not usually here Thursdays, but she was here today.
Right. Yeah, so I'll get with Jack as well and figure out what the.
Yeah, and if you see Susan when you're in here,
There was, well, I did see, the chairman and Susan talking about, but what they were talking about was the builder of that house is taking or buying or whatever part of Holmberg's land and subdividing. And I just wanted to make sure they understood there's not gonna be a subdivision off a class 6 road, that's not gonna happen. That's too much. I mean, one house is one house, but
there's already a subdivision up there.
it doesn't go to Sandy Knoll Road though. And it's a non-active subdivision, and it was passed, that subdivision was created
In the 80s.
in the 80s, right, Wooden Brook. But looking at.
Where's the access from?
The access is from,
Davis Road?
Curtis Road, right, yeah. So, I don't know how that's gonna, I don't know what state that's in, but then I mean, the LaRue subdivision off of Dame Road, I thought was gonna die, quiet death, and it didn't, it came back to actually having houses there.
Yeah.
But there was plenty of access on that. And the access off of Ledge Hill and then the access off of Dame.
Right.
But I don't, yeah,
Just let you know, this is a subject that needs further investigation and
So-
action, likely action.
yeah, it's gonna be hard to get a cease and desist now, it's got the thing.
Yeah, but
Flush
you,
out.
you could hold up a certificate of occupancy.
Right. But it's until he does the paperwork.
Right.
But denying access is gonna be tough, because
I understand.
we should have denied it before the ground broke, or.
Right, and we've already set a precedent.
We didn't set up-
Farther up, we've signed an agreement with him,
That's a road use agreement,
right,
yeah.
but
No, this is a building permit.
I know, but
He hasn't come in for a building permit,
I
has
know.
he?
not that I know,
I don't think so.
but the intent of that road use permit was because he's gonna build up there, so,
Sure, but
Yeah.
he may not, maybe he's not
no,
gonna,
you may not,
he has to do it a step at a time.
right,
Just because we're giving him the right to use the road or upgrade the road if he
Right.
wants to, that's fine.
but
But he still has to go through the building permit
Yeah.
process.
if,
But I
Jack
don't-
issued a permit, I don't know where the onus falls. Who's at fault? Should Jack have said you need to do it this way?
Well, if
I don't
the
know.
RSA actually says that it has to go to the planning board.
Yep.
That's something totally new.
Right, I'd like to see that, I'd like to
Yeah,
know
me
what
too,
number that
I'm
is.
just going off of.
Do you have a number of
Susan
the
told
RSA?
The only RSA that I have refers to going to the Board of Selectmen, that's 674:41.
Right.
Okay,
And we use Jack as our agent in that
right,
RSA setting.
so when we initial it, we're assuming that Jack has done
Right.
the right thing.
Right. So, but if there is another RSA that says the planning board has to look at it,
Mhm.
and we didn't do that process, and he's got his walls up, I think
Yeah.
we got an issue there, but we can
Yep.
certainly, you know, shame on us for not following the RSA if it exists. It'll never happen again,
There you go.
but it can't affect the person who spent that much money
Right. If it's our
adversely
state.
if we didn't do the process right, or we didn't inform him how to do the process.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion.
No,
We can run up by our attorney.
I agree, but I don't think we need to at this point. We need to do a little more investigating before we get too worried about it.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot easier if Jack was answering the question and not me. And is it that they don't want a house there? And what's the,
No, it's just the permitting process. I'll make copies of this, but this is basically,
I can just read it.
yeah, just read that.
Bring it back to you. Yeah, it's a subdivision. Okay, these are two separate issues that do
Mhm.
not conflict.
Yeah, he only said that because we're having a meeting and then that brought up the question of this.
Okay.
This
Well,
brought up the
let's-
question of this.
Let's presume, Gary, that we issued the building permit. So if we issued a building permit, then that's all done. There's no going back. If we made a mistake in the process, then that's our fault, not the owner's fault. This first question, however, about a subdivision on Classics Road, yeah, you need to tell them, that doesn't happen. No. We're not in the business of subdividing Class 6 property. If he wants to upgrade the road to Class 5 and apply for a change of status in that road and into a Class 5 road, then he can look at subdividing that property.
Yeah, but that's a completely different, that's a huge process.
Sure it is. I mean, I remember doing it on the mountain. I actually but I had to make a deal with my neighbor to have frontage on a Class 5 road. Because all of my frontage on that mountain was Class 6. And there was no way I could get a subdivision plan put together on a Class 6 road, it just wasn't.
Right.
I can get a building permit. On
For a house.
On 125 acres for a house. And I could build a 5-mile drive, or a 2-mile driveway to get to it.
Yeah.
At my own expense. But I didn't get to have a subdivision.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And the other thing is, that I have is, I would like a brief non-public, to talk about, contracted personnel.
Okay. All right,
I don't know what category that falls under.
let's, I'll make a motion, we go into non-public 91A, I think it's colon 3. Reputation,
Mm-hmm.
Aldi, yes.
Marty, yes?
Pike, yes.
I think we're good, Kenny. I'm gonna take on face value the fact that our selectmen all agreed on the warrant articles, so that when I see them, if I need to change anything, I'm just gonna change it myself. Okay?
Sure.
I can't change the amount,
No.
Yeah, but you can make the wording.
Minor
fit where it
wordings,
needs
yeah.
to be.
and if there's a grant available, I wanna be able to put language in there so we
Right.
can get it. If Chris is working on a grant
Mhm.
for his loader,
If you can get it,
bring that back.
right, if you can get it, if anything comes in before we have to send those off to DRA, of course we can change that, but there is a time limit.
Right, and I don't wanna, I'd like the budget committee to be done with it next week, but I don't know if they're not. So. All right, any other business?
I'm good to go.
All right.
Good.
Just 3-day weekend.
Yep.
It's coming up,
Careful,
so we're not gonna meet next week at all.
That's what I've heard.
Right,
Okay. We could meet Tuesday morning instead of Monday morning, for example, if we needed to.
Yeah, I guess we would have to leave that up to Bob, but
I think I have something.
let's,
As long as nothing comes up drastic.
let's leave it at after the budget budget meeting
Right.
Tuesday. We'll know whether or not we have to meet next
Sure.
week.
Yep, sounds good.
The budget, yeah, and we'd meet after that then, of
Right,
course.
right, it's gonna be Wednesday,
Um,
Thursday, or Friday.
Wednesday, just can't, I can do the morning on Wednesday. Thursday, I have planning board at 7,
Yeah,
and Friday, I'm wide open, so.
okay, yeah. So
If we need it, we can make it
In
work.
the morning, pretty
Good. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nice, 7 o'clock, did okay.
Not too bad.